There's nothing that makes your lawn and your landscaping pop quite like a nice, clean, defined natural edge. So today, I'm gonna show you how to get this look correctly. So when it comes to edging your beds, you're really gonna need two main things. This right here is a half moon edger, gives you the perfect depth for your beds, 20 to 30 bucks. I love this tool right here. And then to outline my beds, I just like to use a hose. Now you don't have to have a hose. I like to use this to make the outline of my bed shape, but we'll talk about that more here in just a minute. Now the other tool that's gonna be helpful to have is a flat shovel. You can actually use this in place of the half moon edger if you want to, but using the half moon edger is just gonna be a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. All right, shoo. Tangled freaking mess. Yes, this is the downside of using a hose. If there was ever an ad for a hose reel, this is it. Now the main reason why I like using a hose, a lot of people use spray paint. They'll come out here and they'll paint on the ground where they think they want their bed edge to be. I don't like doing that because if you mess up, you gotta repaint it or you gotta try to get the paint off, and that's not easy to do. And then you just end up with a big mess. Whereas if you use the hose, you can just adjust it as you go. It's very easy to move and readjust and position it exactly where you want it to. And then as you can see, I just have a nice long drawn out curve because there's nothing better than some sexy curves. Then as you can see, we just have our nice curve laid out here with our hose, and it curves back in. And then once we get this part dug in, I'll continue it that way. But for now, the furthest point out is at the corner of the house. The furthest point in is at the midway point between this corner and that edge over there. And you just kind of have to shape it as you go. The two main points I can give to you here. The furthest point out for me is what I want over here at the corner. And then the closest point of the bed to the house is the midpoint from that point over to here. So as you see, right here is the midpoint. That is the closest point to the house. It's the most shallow point of the bed. And then from there, we're just putting a nice long curves. I don't like quick and short curves. It's harder to mow around. I don't think it looks as natural. I don't think it looks as clean. Long, sexy, clean edges and curves is the way to go. Shove that in there and off to the races. Really a shame to waste all that good grass. But now we want to use the flathead shovel, or you can actually still use the half moon edger if you want. Use whatever tool you have. We're gonna come back from the inside of the bed and we're just gonna cut out just like that. And so if you can see that, straight down with a half moon edger at an angle from the inside of the bed with either the flat shovel or the half moon edger, that's going to create a nice little deep pocket here that the mulch can fall down into. It's going to keep this bed exposed, the dirt exposed, so any roots, weeds, anything that tries to grow in here, it's going to dry out, die. Creates a nice clean look, separates the grass from the landscape. I don't think there's anything that looks and sets off a lawn, a landscape quite like a nice natural edge. Oh, that is so, so nice. Look at that. So once we have our edge defined here, it is carved out, it is cleaned up, and we are ready to rock and roll. Now this edge right here is 3 inches, which is huge, at least according to my wife. And that right there is determined by that half moon edger, that lip on it. But if you're using a shovel, just measure 3 inches and put a mark on it so you know how deep to go, because trust me, you don't want to go too deep. But I wouldn't really know what that's like. So this right here is already looking so good. We've got nice long curves, super sexy, super clean and crispy. Got to continue finishing this way. Quick tip, kind of like my prom date. When you're pulling the dirt out of the front of this bed or you're scraping off the top of this layer, throw it towards the back of the bed and slope everything towards this front edge. That's gonna do 2 things for us. One, it's gonna make sure all the water runs towards the front of the bed away from the foundation of your house. Second thing it's gonna do is allow the plants that you put in the back row here to be able to be seen a little bit better than the ones in the front. So there's those edges. They are clean, they are tight. That's just how I like them. Now obviously we're gonna have to do some cleanup inside this bed, get this grass out of here and get some mulch in here. But look at those nice curves around here. They are clean, they're crisp, and there is nothing, in my opinion, that makes your lawn and your landscaping pop quite like a nice, defined, natural edge, just like that right there. That, my friends, is exactly how you edge your landscape beds correctly. Shoot! It'll make you just want to say, find me something that looks better than that right there. You can't do it. You just can't do it.